Hey everyone, Legend here, and this is the Cute Baby Zoo Animals of the Month video for June 2020. Now, if this is your first time watching the Cute Baby Zoo Animals of the Month, what happens is zoos from all over the world send us in a whole bunch of B-roll footage of the newborns that are born at their parks, and I put them all together in this one video just to give you a big old smile on your face and get an idea if you're heading to one of these zoos that, well, maybe you want to stop and see that animal because there's going to be an adorable baby there. And we start this month over at the Schönbrunn Zoo in Vienna, Austria, where they had 6 prairie dogs born. Now at birth, the pups are only 15 grams, and they're also born naked and blind. At this point, they're a little bit older than that. Although they are still drinking milk, they're already nibbling on grasses. And if you watch the video, sometimes you can observe what looks like a kiss. Well, that's actually just an intense sniffing, which is the way they recognize who belongs in their family. I love prairie dogs. I believe Hershey Park has a big prairie dog exhibit at Zoo America. I'll be up there in a couple weeks, so definitely looking forward to that. For our second Cute Baby Animal of the Month, let's go to the Detroit Zoo for a wonderful story about a baby chimpanzee. Baby Zane was born on January 7, 2020 to his mother Chiana, who's 26 years old. But unfortunately, soon after Zane's birth, Chiana became very ill and was unable to care for her newborn. Chiana was treated by veterinarians and recovered, but unfortunately after she recovered, she showed no interest in caring for her little son. So the Detroit Zoo's primate care staff stepped in and gave Zane 24-hour care, which included carrying him constantly as a mother chimp would and teaching him how to take milk from a bottle. Over the 5 months, Zane lived in the Great Apes of Harambe building instead of a nursery, so he could be around the other chimpanzees. During this time, the chimpanzees could see him up close through the mesh of the enclosure. Now, the carefully planned process begun of trying to find him a stepmom by observing the potential surrogate moms in the Detroit Zoo's 11-member chimpanzee troop and their responses to baby Zane. Now, the mother-daughter duo of Trixie, who's 50 years old, and Tanya, who's 25, immediately showed the most interest. From their first interaction, it was clear that 5-month-old Zane has found his new adopted family. Zane approached and hugged Trixie and Tanya the minute he had the chance. Now, Trixie is Zane's primary caregiver, while Tanya, who's never had a baby of her own, loves playing with Zane, napping with him, and carrying around for short periods. Now, if you find yourself at the Detroit Zoo, baby Zane is currently living with the troop in the Great Apes of Harambe area. For the third baby animal of the month, let's go to my favorite zoo in the world, the San Diego Zoo out in California. And for what is probably my favorite entry this month, as they had 2 Amur leopard cubs born. Guests visiting the San Diego Zoo's Africa Rocks exhibit, which is amazing, can now see on exhibit 2 endangered Amur leopard cubs along with their mom, Sokka. The cub's birth is particularly significant for the species, as fewer than 100 Amur leopards are believed to exist in their historic range in Russia and China. After the birth, the cubs spent most of their time in an indoor habitat with Sokka. They started to emerge from their den at about 20 days old and had their first visit to the outdoor habitat roughly 10 days later. They're now venturing out to explore with their mother daily. Sokka can be seen monitoring the habitat, demonstrating the national instincts to watch out for any potential threat to the cubs. The cubs are already showing natural behaviors of stalking and climbing. Wildlife care specialists observed one of the cubs climbing about 4 feet up on a tree. Well, that's before Sokka brought the cub back to the ground. Now, the cubs don't have names yet, and will get their first hands-on vet exam this week, which will also reveal the sex of each cub. This is Sokka's second set of cubs, and they are being raised in the leopard habitat in Africa Rocks. Although Amur leopards are not a leopard species found in Africa, Sokka and a male Amur leopard, Oscar, were moved into this habitat to provide them with a space of their own for breeding purposes. These guys are fantastic, and if you ever wanted to hear them talk, now you get to hear the little guy talk. It's really cute. Next up, we're going to the Audubon Zoo over in New Orleans, where they had a rare male Ocelot kitten born. Now, if you're not familiar with ocelots, the wildcat species is about roughly twice the size of the average domestic feline, and known for its striking dappled coat. Now, ocelots are native to the southwestern United States, Mexico, and Central America. Now, the ocelot was nearly extinct in the 20th century, but their numbers have bounced back, and the animal is no longer considered endangered. And it's considered just really, really cute. Look at that little guy. Our next cute baby animal of the month takes us back to the Schönbrunn Zoo in Vienna, Austria, where they welcomed in a new pygmy marmoset. Now, pygmy marmosets are only about 15 centimeters tall, making them the smallest monkey in the entire world. The cub, whose gender is not known, came on April 2nd after a 4.5-month gestation period. and at birth the cub was only about the big as a human thumb. Now, the pygmy marmosets are native to the rainforest of South America and feed primarily on tree sap. That's kind of interesting. Our next cute baby animal of the month takes us to Zoo Berlin over in Germany, where it's baby meerkats. And this is the first time in 7 years the zoos had baby meerkats, and they've been lucky enough that they had 4 born back in January, and then another 6 less than half a year later, giving them a total of 10 babies this year. The 6 newborns are now racing against their 4 big siblings, and what will be an absolute state of emergency for other mothers. It's quite a normal everyday life for meerkats. Look at those little playful guys. Always one of my favorite zoo animals to go see is the meerkats. Oh man, this next animal, it's a real winner. This is really, really awesome here. As over at the San Diego Zoo, for the first time in the zoo's history, an echidna baby, or puggle as they are called, was hatched at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. The puggle is estimated to be hatched on February 14, 2020, and this unique, tiny, spiny Australian species has small eyes and a distinctive beak or snout. Now, the puggle is still developing its protective spines, which you can kind of see on its back. They're very similar to like what a porcupine would have, just a little bit smaller. And it is moving around on its wobbly little legs as it grows and gains strength, using its sharp claws to dig into the ground and keep its balance. Echidnas are only one of 2 Australian mammals that lay eggs. The other is the platypus. Now, echidnas are notoriously difficult to breed and manage care, so wildlife care specialists are extremely pleased with the progress of this little puggle, whose sex has yet to be determined. But man, what a unique creature. It's so neat to see them, and especially see them on the little scale and everything. Really, really like this one. For the next cute baby animal, let's head back to the Schönbrunn Zoo in Vienna. And man, I gotta say, these guys kill it with the baby animal videos. They send over more cute baby animal videos than I think any other zoo in the world. So big thanks to them. And this one is no different. This right here, that's a Eurasian Lynx who was born at the zoo on May 27th. Now, as you can see, this little one enjoys exploring their habitat, and there's a lot to discover there. Tree trunks for climbing, leaves for playing, and lots of smells to sniff out. And in between those activities, they do cuddle with their mom and, of course, sleep a lot. Now, a valuable tip from the zookeepers: if you are going to the Schönbrunn Zoo, be sure to head by this exhibit in either the morning or the evening, as that's when the young one is most active. Now, unfortunately, the situation for the largest cat species in Europe does not look good in the Austrian forest. The once extinct lynx has been successfully resettled since the 1970s. At the moment, however, there are only a maximum of 39 animals that live in small, isolated populations and hardly produce any offspring. The natural conservation organizations warn that the lynx in Austria is once again facing extinction. Well, hopefully this little one could help out. Our final stop on the Baby Animals of the Month video takes us to the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, a zoo I might actually be getting to visit for the first time next month. Excited about that, heard lots of good things, so might be getting up there. And they've had a whole bunch of animals born. We're going to show off here a sea lion pup, and it is just an adorable animal. If you go to any zoos or aquarium in the month of June or July, normally that's when pup season is, and you can see a lot of just adorable babies, including this one here from the Columbus Zoo. Now, the pup is currently in a behind-the-scenes area, but the zoo's newest region, Adventure Cove, is scheduled to open later in July, and that's going to have their whole new seal and sea lion exhibit. Should be pretty good. I think they spent a ton of money on it. Also at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, they have another welcome addition, one of my personal favorite animals, the red panda. They had 2 red pandas born, and these red pandas were the first births at the Columbus Zoo since 2015. Now, these were born on June 13th, and once the cubs hit about 4 months of age, well, then guests might be able to see them emerge from their nest and begin to explore their surroundings. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Cute Baby Animals of the Month, one of my favorite videos to do every single month. If you had a personal favorite of the month, let me know in the comment section below. Always interested to see what you guys like the best, and thanks for watching.